I'm Robin Birkin, an ex-corporate marketer turned online business owner. I took everything I knew and created a six-figure life coaching business in the margins between nap times and a 9 to 5, and I'm here to share with you how you can do the same. Tune in as I share the raw and unfiltered truths, big lessons, and practical tips to help you build and grow a sustainable bread-winning business online that is both peaceful and profitable. Here, we dive deep into all things online courses, funnels, audience growth, and so much more. If that sounds like the things you want to learn, then welcome to Signature Online Course Secrets. Let's go.
Hi, and welcome back to this podcast. So I spoke a little bit last week about how to know if an offer will sell and a little bit more about exactly how you go about delivering an offer once you've sold it. And so today I thought I would dive just a little bit deeper into that topic. So let's say that you are really, really busy. You are a one-to-one coach, service provider, expert, and you are so flat out with clients, you're burnt out. You're like, I can't keep doing this forever. It's really stressful. Maybe you are on that visibility ghost cycle where you won't have many clients and then you'll post on social media, you'll get a few clients and then you ghost everyone and get all these clients and you're like, sweet, and you stop posting and then the clients dry up. And then it's this cycle of a real revenue roller coaster because you keep ghosting and appearing and marketing is a lagging indicator. So it kind of doesn't 100% line up, but you're burnt out and you just feel like there's never enough time in the day. You've been dreaming of launching an online course. Or maybe you have young kids and you just know that you don't want to go back to corporate because you don't want to ask anybody's permission to go to the athletics carnival, whatever it is. And you're like, this group program, it could be a group coaching program, could be an online course, could be a mastermind. I'm not a huge fan of memberships. Sometimes they do have their place, but it's some kind of one-to-many offer that you have. And you do not know how to make it a reality and integrate that into your business and pivot from one-to-one into one-to-many services. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So if you're like, oh my God, I've been sitting on this for too long and I don't want to start 2026 in the exact same place, then listen up because today's episode is for you. And if you want my personal support with that, all you have to do is reach out to me on Instagram with the words ready and I can speak to you about how I might be able to support you. But hands down, the number one thing you need is, let's say, 3 hours worth of bravery to say, do you know what? I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off and I'm just going to go out there and sell it. I'm going to go out there and scope out interest. You can 100% go out there and scope out interest from your wider email list. And there is a specific way that you would do that. You don't want to just be like, here's the 10 modules of what I'm going to launch. Do you want to buy? Here's the checkout link. Don't do that. What you want to do is initiate conversations so that you can see what questions, hesitations, objections people have so you can check that you are offering the right offer. And then you want to create that alongside that first cohort of people who join. Again, so you can see how they're learning, whether they're getting results, what are the things that you've missed, what are the things that they are deeply seeking that would make this so much more valuable to them that you didn't see, and so that it just gets done. Again, rip off the Band-Aid and get it out there, sell it ASAP before you create it. That doesn't mean that you have to sell it and then the very next week start delivering it or have everything ready. That's 100% not what it is. You could week by week just keep up. You could say to people, new module is released every Wednesday, or we're going to go through it live every Wednesday, and you just create the module for that week, on Monday or Tuesday. Hello, this is exactly what I've done most of the time. You could go through and be like, hey, wanted to know if this is of interest. And people are like, yes, it is. I want to buy. Then create the checkout link. Don't put in all of this unnecessary work. You need 3 hours of bravery to be like, I'm just going to do it. That's exactly what I have just done this week. So I've spoken about this many times. If you're a subscriber, you know that I've tapped out capacity at the mastermind. Does that, like, I'm obviously going to have spaces available in the future. So if you are at or on the way to $50,000 to $100,000 and you're ready for multi six figures, you want to be in the Peace and Profit Mastermind. It's an exceptional container where you receive a high level of support that is highly strategic from me, as well as tools, templates, day-to-day support to help you execute in that. So you want to be part of the Peace and Profit Mastermind. But at a business level, like, we sort of ran out of the capacity that I had. And so I knew that I needed another offer that was a revenue generator. So as you also know, we've been building out a low ticket offer suite. They're not massive revenue generators. If I want to make like $500,000 a year, my best bet is not through the low ticket offer suite. Can it be done? 100%. I know people who have made $1 million from low ticket offers. So it can be done, but is it probable? And by the end of this year, probably not. So there is another offer that I have in mind. It's very secret squirrel at the moment because we're only just in beta. And I am planning an epic launch for September. This is possibly going to be the most easy, yes, no-brainer offer for people to join. This is likely to be my signature offer, like the offer. I think this is the offer. The launch is only scheduled for September, which is incidentally when we'll do the next significant intake for the mastermind. So I could have waited. I could have been like, yeah, cool. We are about to go on school holidays and go into a deep period of really building and streamlining and iterating the curriculum within the mastermind and building out like a really strong framework, looking at what does this look like in terms of going through step by step in the curriculum. So I'm into this period of like deep work and going on school holidays. So I could have been like, I'll just wait. But there is never ever a perfect time in your business or your life. If you're constantly waiting for the perfect time, the perfect offer, the perfect messaging and everything, you are doing yourself a disservice. So we have gone ahead and I have sent out the emails, reached out to just a small handful of people to validate the offer now with an exceptional offer. And you need to do the same. If you are dreaming of a new offer and it is the right offer, what are you waiting for? Go out there and rip off the Band-Aid and have this moment of being bold and audacious and invite people to join into this container. What you will do, the number one way, if you are too busy to launch, number one, an ascertain/hand raiser launch is not time intensive. I've sent one email and approximately 5 DMs to people. It has taken all of the space of an hour. I then put together a Google document, very simple Google document with just some of the details so that people who already had reached out could then make a discerning decision about whether or not it was right for them as we're in conversation with each other. And then we just go through and create a payment link and then do the work after that. But what happens when you sell first, create later is, particularly if you are in the throes of one-to-one, is you then have a cash injection that allows you to take on less one-to-one business or to have a little break in your business and as you go through and create this and start to pivot. The next thing that happens, if you sell out your validation round in your business, that gives you the ability to potentially raise the rates of your one-to-one services. So you don't have to just shut it down. You don't have to find the time or anything. When you sell first, create second, you get this opportunity to be able to say, okay, well, where do I get the time? So if you're like a mom with young kids, again, you can go through and all you need to focus on is what is the next step here? Like, what do they need next after they purchase? So you just need to record like a tiny bit in advance. So you don't need to go through, if someone says, yes, I'm ready, and there's curriculum like an online course, you don't have to then go tomorrow and create the whole course for them. You can drip feed it. You can give people dates and expectations and communicate really effectively about when things will be released. Things don't have to be released for like a month or 2 months if you're clear about the offer and if you create it strategically. Like maybe if the offer is only going to be delivered in like 1 or 2 months, well, what can someone realistically go through, chew on, do in that time to start getting some results independently before joining the formal container, and to buy you some time. And you're going to go through to past, existing, warm clients, maybe your email list and Instagram, but your best sales are going to come from people who already know, like, and trust you, which is going to be, maybe discovery calls that didn't quite convert, whatever that looks like. And then just stay one step ahead of people. So something else that I have done that has helped has been what I call the 2-day stay. So I had a week away a couple of years ago. Last year I had a 2-day stay. This year I've got another week away for my business. And I treat these as times when I'm going to go into deep work mode. It could be batching content, it could be revising curriculum, whatever that looks like, but you could go through and say, okay, well, I'm going to at least create the first 3 modules so I feel ahead of time. So you sell it this week. Then in 2 weeks' time, you have a 2-day stay and first create the first 3 modules. And then the following week after that is when the first module drops. So it's always staged. And you've just had a cash injection, so you can celebrate by having a 2-day stay at the hotel and having that break and that deep work focus time. And then you go through, and the reality is you create from there. The reality is also that if you are in a space of having to create one-to-many curriculum, there's always going to be a season of push. The question that I'm going to leave you with is, where do you want to be 12 months from now? Do you want to be the type of person who always talks about transitioning from one-to-one services into one-to-many offers? Or do you want to be the person in 12 months' time who actually did it and is now established in that, and it's done? You got it done. Maybe it was hard. Maybe it was far easier than you thought. But in 12 years' time, you are the type of person who is closer to the goals that you had set for yourself because you had 3 hours of bravery when you went ahead and sold it without getting all up in your head about what happens next. How am I going to record it? What am I going to do? How am I going to stay ahead of everyone? Because you figured out all of the rest as you went by just focusing on the next step. You had 3 hours of being bold, putting out some offers and selling it, and then figured out the next steps as you went, but got to the end of 12 months and had actually done it. Food for thought. Anyway, thank you for listening to today's episode. I'll catch you next week. Bye for now.
Another episode on the books. If you'd like to continue the conversation and get more super savable tips, come and find me on Instagram at Robin Birkin. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed, and I can't wait to see you next week.